going to give the floor to Brad, and he's going to talk to us about his business, BRC Bike Works, and just give us a rundown, everything you do and all that kind of stuff, and we'll go from there.
Man, so we got a little shop up in Fort Smith, working on Harley Davidsons only, or customs.
Bird.
But been there nearly 7 years now. It seems like 20.
Yeah, it does.
Things have kind of spiraled out of hand at times, gotten busier than we could handle, and try to reel it back in. Moved 3 times. It's just kind of been a whirlwind, but it's keeps paying bills. We keep eating.
Yeah.
Met a lot of good people, made some friends. And,
hoorah.
Yeah.
I can speak to how popular you are because I know people that ride Harleys that don't personally know you, but they can't stop praising your shop for the repair work you've done, or just going into your shop and hanging out with you and how cool the shop is. I don't know. I have many people that are strangers that have said that about you, so I think you're doing a remarkable job, sir.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I would say, with all the moving and the, like you said, getting so busy and kind of doing the accordion effect where you're really, really busy, then not so much and all that kind of stuff. That's all just growing pains and, in starting a successful business. I know there have been times that you wanted to burn it down.
Yeah.
Because I've been with you close to day one.
Yeah.
And we've kind of, we've been able to go peaks and valleys together and everything, and that's pretty cool. And but you're right, man. That's actually one thing I was going to say is in all my time coming to your shop, kind of something similar to you said. Like, I've met a lot of really cool people, and I've met a lot of really not cool people too. But I would say probably more good folks than not. So I guess I'll let you expand on what you do, because you do like dyno performance tuning. You do, I've watched you do complete builds from a frame, with your FXR and all that kind of stuff. And then, big wheel baggers were a thing whenever you first started.
Yeah.
And
we've gone through a few different stages, the full custom stuff is what kind of got us out there, I guess you'd say. And then it's progressed into where at this point we're more known for performance. Once we got the dyno and we started doing a lot of engine builds and we're able to back up what we were doing, improve, and just even on other people's builds, they bring them to me to tune, and it's just different facets of us, I guess. But, and it's weird, what you were saying, Brandon, is like everybody likes to come to the shop and hang out, and it's, I hear from different people how cool the shop is and stuff, and it's home to me. I go there every day, and there's many, many days I don't think it's cool at all. But you go different places. I used to know everyone that came to the shop, every bike they rode, what we did to it, and it's gotten to where now I see people and they know who I am, and they'll tell me, hey, I've got that black Harley you worked on, and I was like, well, I've worked on a few thousand of those, but it's just it's kind of an odd deal. Sometimes I get the Kurt Cobain complex, like I don't know who all these people are, and it freaks me out. But
complete stranger, cool, just hey, Brad.
You're like, hey, man,
like, how's it going, you?
It's like, it's Steve. You're like, yeah. Come on, I know, Steve Jim, and Herschel. They came in. We had the twin trikes that we tried to weld together. You remember? Like, oh yeah, I actually do remember you guys.
It's not as far fetched as you think.
I know. I've been able to see some things and some stuff that it's pretty rough that's come in.
If you ever think that you've seen everything, just come hang out at the shop for a little while.
Yeah.
You will find out you haven't.
Well, if you ever think you've heard it all. Because we've always made the joke that they could make a reality show about Brad's shop, like they did with, like Orange County and West Coast and all that kind of stuff. It was like, man, we could make one here. And then we thought about it, it's like, it would have to be like HBO or Showtime, because there's no way that it would just be like muted and like the subtitle would just say like explicit content.
Yeah.
Because like it's not even so much like vulgarity. It's just like people would. I'm convinced that if somebody ever listened to a day in the life at BRC, they'd just be like, these guys should be committed. Like they're not. These are not the type of people you want like walking around. But he's working on your bike. That's crazy. Oh man! But you know what? We've had a lot of fun, and we've definitely met interesting Interesting's a good word. We use interesting people too. So, kind of the question I wanted to get to you though, because out of all of us, I mean, Brandon, you don't ride anymore, at least for now. I still have a motorcycle, but it seems to be for profiling purposes. I don't actually ride it. And I used to ride it everywhere, all the time, constantly.
Welcome to the life of having 2 children.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, oh man, a motorcycle, that'd be cool. Yeah, another day, Or being a motorcycle shop owner.
Yeah,
you've got a pretty one. Well, they look similar.
Yeah. I ride motorcycles sometimes, but I hardly ever ride my own.
Yeah. You always test driving somebody else's to make sure everything's good.
And whenever you have a spare minute, and you think, man, riding motorcycles would be cool, but you can always get in your truck that has that air conditioner and just go home.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a big one for me. I'm like, but I like climate control, so I'll probably do that. But anyway, the question I'm getting to is this: so we've all, except for Colby, have been in that lifestyle, in that culture, but you're the only one who's still in it every single day, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, whatever. So what I want to say is tell me how motorcycle culture, or maybe just the local scene, has changed, or has it changed? Good things, bad things, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, because I got a question. Did it peak around the Sons of Anarchy time? Because that's when I imagine that there was probably the most activity. And then it started to kind of decline as the show went off the air. However, it did not go away. Contrary to what people believe, it does still exist.
What's that?
The motorcycle culture.
Oh, yeah. It's just not as It's not every single 20-year-old has a club style Dyna anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they're 30.
Yeah. They moved to baggers too.
Yeah, they also get rid of club style Dynas.
They got older.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, this is a much more comfortable ride.
I was ragging on those old guys, but oh man, this fairing is nice.
I will say this before you get into your response here is when I bought my Road Glide, I told Brad that that's what I was looking for. He had just gotten one, and I was like, man, that's kind of what I want. He's like, you should get one. They're great. So I found one, and it was priced, I'm talking, beautifully. And I was like, yeah. And I went all the way down to Pickles Gap, Arkansas, which is right past Conway. And there's a place there called Pickles Gap Cycle Shack.
That just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, it's a strange place. Anyway, so I go into this shop, and tucked away in this very cramped showroom, there it is, a 2017 Harley Davidson Road Glide. And I walked up to it, and I was like, okay, this is the one? He's like, yeah. I was like, this one right here. He's like, yeah. I was like, I got to make a phone call. It is literally the exact same bike as Brad's. Paint.
Same paint.
Everything. I called him. I was like, hey, man, I found a Road Glide. And he was like, oh, sweet. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to be able to get it for $15,200. He was like, you need to buy it. Now, you need to buy it. I was like, you say that, but I was like, man, it looks exactly like yours. To which his response is, no, I don't care. Somebody else has one too. I was like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, then it'll be like the three amigos running around.
Twinsies.
And then I found out it was, dude, man, bro. And I was like, all right. Well, I guess we'll all just be twinsies. But anyway, so that's a little fun story. Anyway, go ahead with,
So the scene, the motorcycle scene, as a nation, I think has really gotten stronger. It's grown. Here in Fort Smith, it varies. You have a lot of different waves of things. A lot of guys will ride and be all about it. There's nothing else but ride motorcycles. And then the next week they're doing something else. Hunting season comes around, and that's all they're into is that. But it's weird. I went to Tennessee back in June to a tuning deal at a guy's shop that's from California, and he had opened up a shop out there in Tennessee. And one thing that I saw while I was out there was a whole bunch of different shop owners out there and a lot of techs and stuff, and those guys are still excited about motorcycles.
Yeah. And
that's something that I lose from time to time. It turns into a job. I get burnt out on it. So I have to find different ways to stay interested. And if you're not interested in it, you're behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to find some way to make it what you're into. So we've tried different things like bike nights and going to different events and stuff like that. I actually went to Sturgis this year. It's the first time I've been since I started the shop.
Yeah.
To go out there and try to find a way to make riding motorcycles fun again.
Right.
Which we did. We had a really good time up there. I got sunburned so bad that I changed my skin.
All right.
Because I never ride motorcycles anymore. So when you actually get out in the wind and the sun, it's hard on the body.
Yeah.
But
Imagine.
And the ass. But we had a lot of fun with it, and that's one of the cool things is trying to find ways to balance it. You know, like I don't ride nearly as much as I used to. I used to ride home every night. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, I'd ride home with you most Fridays.
Yeah, and stop by the clubhouse. You know,
Yeah.
But it's just different. You know, I'm there I've gotten old, so I get up at 4:00 in the morning, and
Yeah.
I'm usually at work by 5:30 or 6. So you know, I live a little ways from the shop, so I don't want to ride and dodge deer and everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And then in the summertime, it's hot. You don't want to ride home, but it's a balancing act. You know, trying to keep them relevant in your life when
Yeah.
everything else is moving on around it.
Yeah. I mean that makes good sense. I mean, you do kind of have a good perk because like your wife is 100% like whatever Brad is doing, she's on Team Brad. And that's really cool, man, because I've watched her go from someone who, you know, knew people with bikes to, you know, really, you know, being all in on the shop, being all in on the culture and everything. And, you know, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
But, you know, so, and she's starting up, we were talking earlier, she's setting up a booty queue.
The booty queue.
Yeah, booty queue. What's it called?
Man, you put me on the spot there.
Whoops.
The BRC Ladies Boutique, I believe is what she's calling it. Man,
Okay.
I'm going to get in trouble over that. Anyway.
Wait, scrub it. Keep it. Keep rolling. Yeah.
But she's trying to do like a boutique, you know, geared towards some more ladies' clothing. That's one thing we've always kind of been a little lacking on, other than panties. We have some panties at the shop.
That you've had since like year one.
You know, I've actually sold quite a few lately that these guys are using as masks.
Oh,
I was about to say, like, what the?
Yeah,
We
it's
got
pretty
some
cool.
Rona masks.
Yeah, I always used to advertise them as eye patches for men or panties for women, but apparently they work as masks. So
That's
Hey, you were just
nice.
marketing it the wrong way.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Hey, thanks, COVID.
everybody says Corona's a bad thing. But
Yeah, business is
picked up my
booming.
panty business.
Oh God. I'm so happy that was said. That's fantastic. Brad's panty business.
Yeah.
People would be like, I'm not shopping there. That's gross.
They're new panties. They're not.
Yeah,
used.
they're still in a package.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Only a couple stains.
All right, I'm done with this. Oh man, but you know, we're talking about how the scene kind of changes, and like, I mean, definitely, because I remember whenever I first started coming to the shop, I had the Street Glide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I had a 07 model Street Glide, and you had your 06. It was an electric glide, but was completely
Converted to a road
changed.
glide,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a road glide. 26-inch front wheel, 2-into-1 exhaust, stretched bags, stretched side covers. Did you lower the fairing on that one too?
Man, everything was changed on that. The way the fairing bracket was adjustable actually on that thing.
Yeah.
I could move it to wherever, but
Yeah, you had to because you had air ride to where
Yeah.
you could set it flat on the ground or on a center stand. But that was a pretty epic bike.
it was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun with it, you know, and kind of things changed, moved on, fell into the FXR scene.
Which is an expensive scene to be in.
It is. It's a fun scene. You know, it's a pretty amazing motorcycle as far as Harley Davidsons go, but still into that scene. I have a couple of them, but
Whenever you're ready to come off that maroon one, let me know.
well, I mean, everything's for sale.
Well, I mean, would you take a 97 Chevy pickup for it?
Not at the price I just heard earlier.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
That's what you get for conducting business in front of him.
Yeah, true. But no, like the big wheel baggers, because I remember like whenever you first opened, I mean, that was it. Like I remember you did the ones we called the Evil Twins.
Yep, the flat black ones.
Yeah,
It's
two
like
street
the first
glides.
6 months we were open, everything we worked on was flat black. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah, it was so much.
So dark.
Yeah, denim black in that shop. It was ridiculous.
We built the first couple of years. We built quite a few of those bikes, and we still do some every once in a while. But it's nowhere near as big as what it was.
Yeah. I say, well, because like you said, I mean, it seems like everyone now is trending towards like performance.
Yeah.
And, you know, club style got big for a while, and you know, I always loved club style Dynas and FXRs, and so I jumped on board with that when I got rid of my Street Glide and and got a Super Glide that, I mean, you did everything too. I had my big old, no, that was the first Super Glide I had. Yeah, he was talking about that big old ape hangers.
Yeah. The first time I ever saw Hoot Hobbs, he was on that Super Glide with like 20-inch ape hangers, and it looked like he was flying a kite, but it was actually him. He was the kite.
Yeah.
All he did was complain about his arms.
That's all I ever did. Is like, my shoulder hurts. I can't feel my hands. Blah, 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 blah. Every time we go on like 20-minute ride, I'm complaining for another 30.
How do you
While
turn?
in his 20s.
Yeah, well, I was still in my early 20s at that point. And then, I went to the bagger. I loved it. And I just sold it because I got offered a lot of money for it. And I was like, okay, yeah, you can have it.
Yeah.
But then the Dyna, the 2013 model, that black one I had that you did everything to, that was
a very sweet bike.
That was a seriously nice bike.
Yeah.
I do miss it, but every time I do actually get a chance to ride and I get on my road glide, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't miss it that much. It's the ride quality is very different.
Touring bikes will spoil you.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Hey, don't I know it?
Yeah. Brandon, see, we were back when he and I were in the same club. We were riding one day. A lot of us, not just the two of us. We went up Mount Magazine, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah. So we went up Mount Magazine, had a great day. All this was good, and we've like, well, let's head back to my house.
Right before Bikes and Blues and my birthday the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were heading back to my house here in Lavaca. So we make it all the way from Mount Magazine through Paris. We just came back the way we went up, and so we finally get into Lavaca. We're like maybe 3 miles from my house. A dog runs out in front of the pack, or right into it, and I look in my rearview mirror, and all I see is Brandon's bike sliding sideways. Then he high sides over it, and I was like, oh no. And I don't know what I said, did anything. All I know is my bike was parked on the side of the road, and I was where he was. And I was like,
Yeah,
I have a fiance here somewhere.
Pretty quick.
But, we got the ambulance out there. Ended up having a skull fracture and all kinds of stuff. And luckily, there was no additional brain damage, just stuff he'd already done to himself.
Yeah, everything I'd already earned.
Yeah, right. But,
was the dog okay?
Did we ever even see the dog again?
I have no idea.
Was there ever a dog? We don't know. We all saw it, but maybe it was the dog you told us about on Paranormal Activity Night. You'd know if you listened. Anyway.
Yeah, Brandon. Slacking.
Oh, no, I was talking to the people who skipped over that episode. It was a good episode.
It's one of the best.
Yeah. Anyway.
Told real ghost stories.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you? You got any of them loaded up? Got a ghost story, Brad?
Ghost stories? Well, the second shop we were in was haunted. You remember the stroller?
Yeah, I do.
That's
It's really
baby stuff.
creepy upstairs. Upstairs in the shop, there was this really creepy old wooden stroller with like the cloth falling off of it, and it was like, why is that here? Mm-hmm. And the dude that was in the shop before us, he's like, it was here when I got here, and I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
But there was always weird stuff going on in that shop.
Weird.
I walked upstairs one day, and it was moved, and I walked right back down, and I'm asking everybody, did you move the stroller? And nobody's like, no, I've touched the stroller. No.
Yeah, it's like, what? There's a stroller? Where is it, Brad?
Yeah.
Brad, that stroller's been gone for 30 years.
We always used to joke that was the stroller that Preacher's mom used to push him around in.
Yeah, because we love Bruce, man. We love Preacher. He, I think he would expect for me to talk about how old he is. I usually do to his face, so.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm not going to sit and do that. He's old. Anyway, so you got a lot of cool stuff going on. You're pretty much done with events for the year, aren't you, now? Or you've already had anniversary, you've already had all the rally stuff, so.
We've been having a lot of requests to have an event at the shop. I mean, we kind of considered having a Halloween party. I'm not sure. It takes a lot to put those things on, so I'm not sure at this point.
Right on. I would say, but you can find them on Facebook, and you can follow them, like them, all that kind of stuff, and see what all they have coming up and what specials they're running and all kinds of cool stuff. And if you want to go by and see them, you go to 1421 Phoenix Avenue and just go in and talk to Brad or you know what? Just talk to Brad.
Guaranteed to have a good day.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I actually went by and had lunch with him today, so it worked out really good. Hey, look, I just want to say thank you so much, Brad, for coming by and being a part of it. You're the first guest we've had on the show, and I can think of no one better. You're one of my best friends. I love you. I love your business. I'm going to keep supporting you. Everyone out there who rides a Harley, you can be cool with a stock Harley, or you can go to BRC and be rad. That's a play on words. Anyway, yeah. So, hey, man,
He's
thank
a
you.
runner.
Yeah, he's a great runner, bro. The best runner, I swear. You got a regular bike, take it to BRC, he'll be a great runner.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man, thank you so much for coming, man.
It's our pleasure, man.
Yeah, for real. So, hey, man, thank you, and we'll see you next time.